I think I've established at this point that I quite like Minecraft, so I made a big long video essay about it, how it's the reason I got into filmmaking, how much of a hunk Dan TDM is, etc. Something I haven't established is that I think the modern direction of the game is kinda terrible. And I'm not talking about how Microsoft are monetizing it, or the spin-offs, or the fact that every single community creation makes me feel like I'm playing a slightly more polished version of Roblox, because everyone has already talked about that stuff to death. Yes, charging children £2 for a digital t-shirt is bad, go figure. No. Today, I'm here to talk about something far more heinous. The updates to Minecraft over the years have been... how do I put this eloquently? Some of them have been alright. In fact, all of them for a while were pretty solid and felt like natural evolutions of the formula. Then we reach a point, and it's right around the time when these fellas show up, where all that goes in the bin. Minecraft works because of its simplicity. It's not Terraria, it's not a rabbit hole that goes deeper and deeper. It's a game that you can boot up, build a cool house with friends, and then fuck off back to Fortnite. What Minecraft doesn't need is polar bears, underwater zombies with tridents, a cartography table, flying enemies that punish you for playing the game the way you want, or granite. What does any of this shit add? Nothing. That's the answer. Nothing. Even the Never update, which most people really like, and even I kind of like in an ape-brain sort of way, still fundamentally misunderstands what makes Minecraft compelling. The new biomes are cool, and Neverite is neat, but if it feels like I'm playing Crazycraft, it's gotta go. These are not smart evolutions on the foundation. They're the equivalent to chucking shit at the wall and seeing what sticks. Got one. So what would be a smart evolution of the formula? Well, stuff that improves the areas that feel half-baked, expands the diversity of the world in a meaningful way, while not trampling over the original game design. A cave update is what I'm saying. I'd like a cave update. Remember back in the wee olden days of 2013, when you'd find a ravine, and that would be an actually cool moment. You'd yell at your friends down the mic, "Oi governor, I found a big hole in it!" And you'd all gather round it, someone would fall in, someone else would put a sign down that said big hole in it. There could be nothing but a couple blocks of coal and a spider down there, and it would still be the highlight of your week. Funnily enough, 9 years of seeing the same fucking ravine copy-pasted does not elicit the same emotional response. And that's the same for every cave in Minecraft. All of them. It's like you can see the world generation algorithm in front of you. It's not like I'm exploring the deep dark depths anymore. It's like I'm rummaging through the biscuit cupboard trying to find the last pack of Bourbon creams. So, in a rare smart move, Mojang decides, hey, you know what? Adult man who thinks the updates of a children's game should entirely revolve around what he wants. Here's an update for you. Well, it's 3 updates really, and if I was going to nitpick, goats, copper ore, glow squids, maybe not the best showing, but then I waddle my butt cheeks underground and I see this. And you know what, Mojang? You can keep your copper ore, you earned it, mate. I realise I'm about 7 months late to this topic, and these things are probably boring for you now, like, whoa, cool stalactites, bruv. But seriously, think back to when you first saw one of these boys, after years of the same boring grey tunnels. You did that face, don't lie to me, you peed your pants a little. The atmosphere of these things is immense. It's rare for me not to waddle into one and immediately start gawking at the height of the ceiling. Instead of just tunnel, or twisty tunnel. There's personality and character and something unique to see every time I fall down a big hole. Sometimes you'll find a lava moat at a height other than Y11. Other times you'll slip down a small crack in the ground and find yourself face to face with this. And other times you'll find a water cave because lest we forget, Mojang can't stop themselves. Wait, does it not work anymore? Uh-oh! It doesn't work anymore! No! These things are beautiful now. Like, genuinely, honest to God, gorgeous. For a game that has spent the last few years trying to make everything else as pretty as possible, while the caves just kind of sat there, looking more and more archaic as the years went by, it's fitting that when they finally got around to them, they gave them the Mona Lisa treatment. Floating pools form streams that seep into the abyss below, lava moats bubble away, mineshafts jut out from the sheer cave walls. Ravines are more ravine-y, carving through the ground like nobody's business. These giant stone pillars give the impression of a civilization long gone, while lush caves add pockets of colour to an otherwise dark and oppressive environment. Even the water tunnels, as infuriating as they are, add to the ambience of this place. It feels like a world now, an actual, honest-to-God world, instead of a collection of pieces an algorithm put together. But who gives a shit about that? Check this out! The brain of my 11-year-old self just imploded. This is the kind of thing I've been dreaming about ever since I was yay high, when I first reached Bedrock and thought, I wonder what's down there. Screw ambiance and world building, now I've got to remap my entire understanding of how these things work, what kit I need, where diamonds spawn. Now I've got 79 blocks where those buggers could be hiding. It's no longer a case of dig down to Y11 and hold down mouse 1 for 2 hours. You actually have to explore and be cautious and consider the implications of going just that little bit further. Getting lost is a real possibility now. It's not like before where you were always within staircase distance of the outside world. You can go down here, then down there, and then do a hop, skip, and a jump, and looks like you're now lost in the dark forever. Hope somebody finds your corpse. You know those spelunking videos? The ones that make you want to crawl up into a ball? Or alternatively, grin with glee if you're a sick fuck? Where it's genuinely a never-ending labyrinth that twists and turns in so many different directions and it's claustrophobic as shit, and you're constantly aware of the fact that they could get stuck down there, they could die down there, they could never see the sun again. Yeah, Minecraft caves are like that now. Have fun. It's not just the sheer depth of them that makes them scary, it's the fact that Mojang has managed to indirectly make the game way harder than it used to be. Here's an old cave, here's me waddling around. You may notice that I am completely immune from all damage because no more than 2 enemies spawn at any one time. Bung a torch down, and wow, I have completely eradicated all challenge from this game by placing one of my 500 glow sticks. Now, here's a new cave. I don't think that strategy is going to work anymore. The sheer scale and unpredictability of these caves means that way more enemies spawn way more quickly, so unless you're kitted out, you are getting minced. The classic one-size-fits-all solution of just whacking a bunch of torches down no longer works so effectively when your 3 × 3 meter cave is now the size of a football field. So instead of immediately nullifying the difficulty the second you walk into a new area like a little bitch, you're forced to work around the enemies. Build an underground base of operations, a big fuck-off wall, a massive bridge over a particularly nasty-looking pit of fellas. Actually use the mechanics the game has given you instead of just put one of these down and be done with it. It's so much more compelling and challenging and fun to roam around these caves than it was before. Not just because of how they look, but because of how that change has completely reshaped how you approach them. But for as much as I've been going off on one about the caves, there's a whole other side of this update that I haven't even mentioned yet. Mojang, apparently not content with overhauling the entire cave system, decided, yeah, you know what? Let's prove these fuckers wrong. Let's prove that we're not a bunch of hacks who only add pointless additions. Let's overhaul the entire rest of the world too. We'll add loads of new mountain types and make the rivers form valleys and add some annoying snow that you can freeze to death in. It'll be sick. They'll never complain about us again. Here's an old mountain. Pretty boring. You've seen it a million times. Who gives a shit? Here's a new mountain. You're doing the face again, aren't you? These things dominate the landscape, towering over everything in their vicinity like they own the place. Way taller than before, looking more like an actual mountain than a slightly larger grey hill, these things deserve their title. They just scream at you, climb me please, I'm begging you, please fucking climb me! And every single time I oblige, because how can you not? Look at these snow-topped peaks, look at the way they shoot out of the ground like a mountain would. Look at the caves that spawn in them. They are sick. They are just as cool as the caves, if not cooler, and I love them to bits. They aren't what I want to talk about though, sorry man. Buried in the update notes is a small change to the way terrain works in Minecraft and how it's now independent from biomes. What does that mean? Well, as an example, A forest can now have a hill in it. Now, that doesn't sound cool, but this isn't a day and night change. You probably wouldn't even notice it unless someone pointed it out to you, but you'll definitely feel it. Because this one small change opens up the door for far more diverse and interesting terrain than any new biome ever could. The world isn't nearly as flat as it was before. Weird one-off mountains still dot the landscape, but biomes now have the flexibility to move up to higher levels, create valleys, and dynamically change far more than they did before. It's a decision that doesn't affect much on paper, but in practice, completely overhauls the game's ability to remain interesting long-term. Instead of the same flat plains you're sick of by now, there's height and scale and a feeling that you're not just moving from one copy-pasted biome to the other. Just like the way the new caves help to eliminate the feeling of repetition while mining, so too does the new terrain make exploring the world that much more exciting again. And that's really what this update does so well. It doesn't add much new or try to redefine what Minecraft is. It refreshes what was already there and makes it feel like it's brand new, without trampling over what made it compelling to begin with. There was a time, back in the day, where Minecraft was the new kid on the block, where I could find a ravine and still feel the need to scream down the mic, "Oi fellas, I found one!" A time where the world was still exciting to explore and full of new things to discover, and I could get lost in it for hours at a time. But things change. I've been playing Minecraft for years now. I've seen every nook and cranny it has to offer. I have watched every Let's Play, made every Let's Play. I've got the books, the fucking Lego sets, the encyclopedia of blocks that cost 30 quid. I have killed this game and all sense of mystique and intrigue that could have been left. And that's fine. Games don't last forever. I still love it all the same. But what if you could go back? Wipe your brain of what you know and play it like you never had before. How would that feel? To play your favourite game for the very first time again. Exploring this new world is like travelling back to a time when I had absolutely zero clue what this funny fella was and why he was hissing in my face. I don't know what I'm doing, I don't know what I'm going to find, and that just makes the experience all the more special. I have zero understanding of how any of this shit works, what the rules are, what are the limitations, what puzzle pieces come together to produce this thing in front of me. And over time, I'll learn, I'll see the patterns, I'll get used to the sheer height of the ceiling, and it won't be special anymore. But for now, it is. And for a brief moment, Minecraft felt like Minecraft again.